was once a fine convent in Bari, known for its sanctity and good name. And in this convent was a very lovely, exquisite, noble lady named Isabetta. And Isabetta had relatives that would come and visit now and then. And one day when they came, they brought this handsome gentleman that today we would call a hottie, a hunk. And she looked at him through the grate, and he looked at her, and there was a message sent, unspoken, but they just knew they were meant for each other. He visited quite often, but he wanted to do more than gaze at her and talk to her. And finally he devised a way they could get into the convent and get into her cell. And they were able to consummate the relationship. Well, the Mother Superior of this convent was a fine lady named Madonna Isbaldi. And Madonna Isbaldi was rather strict. And one night, one of her nuns was walking the hall and happened to see the young gentle leaving Isabetta's cell. Of course, she ran and told some of the nuns. Isabetta had a man in her cell! We must tell Mother Superior. But when they talked, they decided maybe if they told, Isabetta wouldn't be punished because they wouldn't see what had happened and maybe they wouldn't be believed. So as only ladies can do, they decided they would work out a plan. They would have spotters who would check each night to see if the young man came. And then they had others who would be called. Kind of a team effort. And one night, sure enough, they spotted the young gentleman leaving her cell. And this lady, this nun, went and told the others, "He's in there now! Go tell Mother Superior!" So one went to guard the room, and the other two hurried to Mother Superior's cell. And they knocked on the door very loudly. "Mother, Mother, you must get up! Isabetta has a man in her cell!" Well, Madonna Isbaldi had to get up quickly, but there was a man in her cell. She quite quickly expelled a special priestess in a chest. And she knew from the voices of the nuns that they were very zealous, and she was afraid they might break the door down. So she's dressing in the dark, dared not lighting that candle, and she's putting on her habit very quickly, and she reaches for her veil, but she reaches, the priest reaches, and puts the money Then, as she goes out, the nuns are all so concerned about Isabetta. They're not looking at her. They're hurrying out. "Oh, come on, Mother, we'll catch them." And they did catch them in flagrante. So, of course, they took Isabetta out and took her to the chapter house. And the nuns were all looking at Isabetta. Oh. Got her in the chapter house. Mother Superior is sitting there. And she's doing what a Mother Superior is supposed to do. She's chastising the nun who had broken the rules. And she's very stern about what she's saying. And some of her words are extremely unkind. She calls her a harlot. She calls her various things. And says she has tarnished the good name of their convent. How could she possibly do this? She just wasn't thinking. Their reputation had been built over years of doing good works. And Isabetta is sitting there. Finally, she dares to look up. And she looks at the Mother Superior as hanging beside her face, and she knows she's wearing men's breeches. So she simply says, "Madonna Isbaldi, see to your wife, and then you can say how you want to." And Mother Superior said, "What? Are you trying to tease and get out of this? Why do you say such a thing?" And Isabetta says, "Mother Superior, please attend to your wife, and then you can demean me all you want to." By this time, other nuns are feeling a little bit sorry for Isabetta. They do look up, and kind of at once, they see the bridges. And the Mother Superior puts her hands up, and she knows she's been caught. What can she say? So she changes her tune. "Well, Isabella, we have a very fine name and we need to keep it. We need to be discreet. There are certain human passions that need sometimes to reign forth, but as long as we do it in the right manner and have discretion, I think life can continue. And so, Isabella was able to go back to her young man who was waiting in her cell, ready to take her away if need be. Mother Superior had her priest brought in when she needed him, and the other nuns did what they could to help themselves.